What's up, otakus? It's your tour guide here with a very special edition. It's here. It's finally here. And I have sort of mixed emotions about it because it came damaged. Yeah, it looks like UPS dropped it, and I haven't opened it yet, but I'm concerned. So I'll be either very happy by the end of this video, or I'll be very angry and upset by the end of this video. UPS, they literally dropped the ball on this one. First of all, the package came a day late, which that's not that big of a concern for me. It came a day late. It was annoying, when you're anticipating it to come on a certain day and you're planning kind of your day around being, being at home so that you can make sure the package, you receive it safely, and then getting a notification, oh, we're going to deliver it the next day, is a little bit annoying. So we were already a little miffed. And then it comes and it's, again, there's that corner crunch in the box. It looks like it was dropped, or like, I don't know, rammed up against something. I'm hoping CGC did a really good job with the packaging, wrapping in the bubble tape and all that. And that, that we're not going to see any kind of residual damage or effect from that. So that's my hope, but we'll have to see. And I know, this is a real rare occasion where we go live. We go live on, YouTube. Usually I just kind of tape the videos and then I post them. But because this was such a big event, and I kind of like, in my last unboxing, I did just film that, but I think because it was filmed, I mean, you got a live reaction within the video, but it wasn't truly live. In this video, you're going to see what happens. First of all, if there's any damage or anything, an issue, then you're going to see the grades in the books and my reaction. And we're gonna do all that. So we're getting to that. Before we get to that, I'm gonna share with you an 8-book haul. We spent under $15 on 8 books, so that's just around, just under $2 a book. And we didn't. I mean, we picked up some nice books. I'm going to show them to you. But we picked up one big book that we'll go over. And I'm really excited to have this in my collection. I'm probably going to hang on to it for a long while. And if I do end up maybe selling it or trading up or whatever, I want it to go to, like, somebody who also appreciates this artist. And then, it was just a major find on my part. And I really was kind of amazed that this kind of book is in my possession now. So let's just get to the haul now. I know right now my kid's playing outside still. He hasn't. I thought he'd be in bed by now, but he took a late nap, so he's still just playing with his mom. And his mom's gonna, like, I guess, handle the bath. And then when we hop off the live stream today, I'm just gonna go and get him tucked away, read him his bedtime stories, and we'll call it a day. So yeah, I was hoping there'd be some people in the live chat. Looks like no one's popping in. Um, we'll just continue to wait. I know it takes people some time to get in, but I guess we'll just start off with the haul. Let's go right into the haul then. We'll waste no time. The first book I picked up is this one here, Supergirl. I think this is volume 7, number 16. And it's just, I was, so I picked up most of these books at Mill Geek Comics, a few of them up at Half Price Books. So I picked this one up for 50 cents. And when I saw this cover, I was digging. And when I came across this comic and I saw this cover, I kind of did just like a double take. Like, it's just, Supergirl is just so stunningly beautiful in this cover. Just a really like radiant and like all of our terms covers are really like he makes his the ladies that on his covers just like in just works of art basically. And I know there's a Supergirl cover that's out now where she's like kind of frolicking in the ocean in a bikini. I was like, oh, that'd be a cool one to get. But again, that one's like it's like full cover, so maybe we'll pick it up if it comes around cheaper. I'm not looking to spend a lot on Art Germ because I don't necessarily collect them. But when I saw this, because I love Supergirl, and I just love this cover. So this was a complete cover buy, and yeah, again, she looks absolutely fabulous. Paid 50 cents for that. Really happy with that pickup. I'm just gonna put the comics. I guess I'll put them right here after we're done. Okay, so that was our first book. Paid 50 cents for that. Moving on. Our second book is, let's see, what should we do here? I'm just going to go right to Jim Lee stuff first. So we'll start with some Jim Lee stuff. I didn't pick up too many Jim Lee books, just 2 this haul. Again, we only have 8 books, so I guess that's a quarter of the haul is Jim Lee. But we picked up this one. And this one, again, I go to Mill Geek Comics. Shout out to Russ, the comic sensei. I go to Mill Geek just to dig through boxes, and they had some actually new inventory in their Marvel bins and some of their DC bins, the older, more high price stuff, $3 books. And when I dig through his 50 cent, I just kind of create a pile, and then I kind of see if they're keys and look at the pricing, and then I just kind of whittle it down. And the books that I don't pick up, I kind of place in a section of a long box where I know if I ever go back, I can just kind of access that section and pick them up. So there are definitely like some Jim Lee books that have been there since, like maybe months ago, that I've just like, I want them, but I don't need to pick them up now. I'll just kind of pick them up at a later date. And this was one of those books. So luckily I was able to go to that section, pick it out. That's my boy. He's not wanting to take a bath. So forgive his wailing. So just a great Namor thing with, Black Panther coming out. I think there's a lot of, anticipation for Wakanda Forever. I'm definitely excited to see how Namor is going to be presented and to really gauge what the comic book community, how they'll react to his. I imagine the performance is going to be epic. He's just going to be a really badass anti-hero. But yeah, just this is a cover I've been wanting for a while, so finally picked it up. The other Jim Lee book is also one I found from my last haul, and I really wanted to pick it up. I just didn't have the funds at the time, I was able to kind of, it was actually the reason I went to Mill Geek is to get this specific comic. And we finally picked it up. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful cover. It's Conan 219 newsstand. A pretty clean copy. Generally, you know, the books in those bins are pretty beat up, but this one actually with a press could really come across high grade. Not There aren't really any spine ticks. Corners are still pretty sharp, very vivid. Again, it just needs a press. There's just some, you know, bends in the book that can press out for sure. But yeah, really surprised with condition. Paid $3 for this one. So again, paid 50 cents for this one. Paid 50 cents for the Supergirl. This one we paid $3 for. But it's a Conan comic we've been wanting to add for some time now. So slowly chipping away at the early Jim Lee stuff. So that was the Jim Lee stuff. And then I actually went into Mill Geek hoping to get the latest Elektra comic book. The one where she's got she's in the classic Elektra costume. She's got a sword. It's the one that was just released. She's got the sai as well. I was looking to pick that Momoko variant up for Elektra, black, white, and blood, but they didn't have it. Mill Geek didn't have it in stock because it came out, I think, like a week or so ago. I don't know if they sold out of it or if they just didn't order. But Russ always orders Peach Momoko, so my guess is they got it in, but it just went out because it was a great cover. So I was just kind of like, I asked the guy, you know, do you have any other, you know, something that came out recently by Peach? And he pulled this book. And I was like, yeah, this is as good, if not better. It's, first of all, it's a Daredevil. It's, I think this is also volume 7, or it's one of the higher volumes, new volume. So it has it's a legacy count of 649, but it's also a first issue for the new volume. And beautiful cover by Peach. Absolutely love this cover. And so, yeah, I was going in with hoping for Elektra, but I got the next best thing. That is this beautiful Daredevil of him just boom, like in acrobat mode there. Beautiful. All right. The next book we picked up. We picked this one up for half a cover at Half Price Books. So 50 cents. And this one is a key book. I think it's the first appearance of this dude, whoever that dude is, Emperor or something. It's a $15 book. Picked it up for 50 cents. It's not like the best quality. It's got a bunch of spine ticks here. Corners are kind of crunched. I'd put the grade in about probably like a 7.5. But yeah, for 7.5, you know, key book, 50 cents. I thought, yeah, that's a good buy. So I picked this one up. Ron Lim cover. That was nice. All right, let's see. We're continuing on here. I'm just gonna make sure the chat. Just make sure everybody's. Interesting. Okay. All right. So a few hauls ago, I was able to pick up a Justice League of America. This is the book here. Wasn't in the best condition. I think I had a 6.5. It needs a press. It's just there's like creases and a lot of just creases in the book. So like a 6.0, 6.5. I had to actually wipe a lot of the dinge off too. And again, I got this for $3 at Mill Geek Comics. But I go back to Mill Geek, and lo and behold, there's another copy in there. This one is actually better grade. I would put this in the 7.0 range. There is a little bit of a like gunk there that I'm gonna have to wipe off and clean, but I just did an initial wipe. No creases in this book. The spine is really, I mean, it's a white cover, so you can't see. These aren't really color breaking in the sense if it was like a darker covers because it's white. So the spine looks really clean. Again, just it really needs just a press. The back of the book looks beautiful as well. So this is a much better copy. I would put this in the 7.0, maybe the 7.5 range with the press. It's definitely a higher grade than the previous copy picked up. But again, picked up both copies for $3. I am. I'm not. I mean, it's a spec buy. In terms, I think DC's going to introduce a lot of characters, and one of the teams they'd be really remiss not to include would be All-Star Squadron, and this is their first appearance. A lot of first appearances in this one. This is a really undervalued book. But I think it has a lot of room to move. I definitely see value in it. So we'll just see. Again, I saw another higher grade copy, and I figured, for the same price, why not pick it up? $3 seems very reasonable for that comic. All right, and this next one. So we got 2 more books left. Last book is the big book, but this next one is really, for me, a big book. It's a big book, and I almost missed it. I almost didn't pick this up because there's a lot of comics at half price books, and so I generally know kind of the new inventory when it comes in. I know what's new. I can kind of judge by just kind of digging through. This is new stuff because I hadn't seen it the week prior or whatever. And what ended up happening was a big stack of Star Trek books came in, like even some Marvel stuff, but mostly like the DC run. And there was just like too many Star Wars or Star Trek comics to really kind of dig through and look. So I was kind of like, I kind of dug through it. There wasn't anything that caught my eye. And to be honest, I don't know what the Star Trek keys are. I don't think there are too many. So I just kind of like dug through them really quick, and then I went on to other things. But then I thought, you know what? Let's be a little bit more strategic. Let's check out that Star Trek, see if there's anything valuable, because Star Trek is. I really love Star Trek. I grew up on, watching reruns of the original series, and then when I was right around middle school, The Next Generation came out, and so just loved watching that. That's just classic Star Trek right there. And then watched Deep Space Nine, got into that, and just watched, really just like kind of kept my toe dipped in all the Star Wars series that were coming out. But definitely, I have to say my favorite series is TNG, The Next Generation, Jean-Luc Picard. And we have in this comic book this beautiful cover by Bill Sienkiewicz of the Enterprise, the Next Generation design. I think this is the 4th. I forget what the number it is, but it's the 4th Enterprise that came out. Yeah, again, Bill Sienkiewicz did the cover, beautiful. But this, and again, it's a really beautiful. I almost missed it, but I opened up my app and I thought, okay, there's some big books here. There's for Star Trek, and I specifically looking for this book in that pile, and I found it, and I said, wow, okay, great, we're picking it up. It's the first appearance of Picard, Data, Riker, Diana, just like the entire, Geordi, everybody on that cast and crew first appearance here in this comic. So just really ecstatic to pick this up. And if you again, if you're a big fan of TNG, this comic is really affordable. It's still like a under $10 book. I picked it up for 75 cents. But I imagine if there's, an inkling of something next generation, if they reboot it, if it's a movie, this I'm sure this will spike up again. And I'm sure they're bound to, if they're, right now they rebooted Captain Pike and his adventures on CBS. It's a matter of time. I mean, I know, Patrick Stewart's still around, but that entire crew is just like, they're just geriatric now. And so at some point they're going to infuse, I think, some youth, and maybe like, come up with like some alternate timeline. Cause I know that's currently right now with what happened to the original series. I know there's an alternate timeline, where we may see different versions of the character or different versions of the crew there. But hopefully they bring some form of Data back, some form of the original crew back on some new adventures. But I'm just happy to have this book. This is just a book. When you have in comic books a first appearance of a show that you really loved growing up as a young person, that's a special book. And again, just so pleased to have added this to the collection. Okay, so now we're finally at the big book of the haul, and then we'll get to the CGC unboxing. And this book is a total Unmyeong book. All these books are Unmyeong books that I just showed off, because we found them on Digs. We did have to come back for a few. I kind of put them off to the side and had to come back to get them. But either way, they're Unmyeong books. For those of you who are watching and don't know what I mean by Unmyeong, Unmyeong is a Korean word for fate or destiny. And it's really something like, consider yourself on a path. Whatever you meet on that path is your Unmyeong, meaning you're destined to meet it. And that object is also on a path. And it's sort of like, Unmyeong is like a two-way street. It's Unmyeong for you, it's Unmyeong for whatever that object is, or that whatever that other person or other living thing, or it could be anything. And so I take that kind of concept into my comic book hunts, because really you never know what you're going to run into. And whatever you run into that you really connect with and have like a close connection or bond with, when you bring that into your collection PC, and you make a conscious decision that this is going to be part of your PC, or you make a conscious decision, I'm going to sell it, that's kind of what differentiates the Unmyeong. Unmyeong is something like, wow, we have this, it's going into the PC, or I was destined to find it. And then who knows, if you do sell it, not to say if you sell a comic, that's not an Unmyeong comic. But when it's, Unmyeong tends to intimate that it's something that stays with you, something that, whether it's a connection or whatever, it's something that it's more it's more long lasting than ephemeral. So I went to a garage sale or yard sale near my home. And we went to this garage sale not to pick it. I was actually looking to pick up like some storage stuff for some of the books I'm getting. Like the collection is growing, so I was looking just for like secure, like a filing cabinet or something where I could just keep it kind of locked and secure. So we actually went there to look for that, and then I just started flipping through some of the books they had there, and I ran into this book, and I thought, you know what, this looks to be uh, this looks to be a very um, important book, uh, because first of all, like Richard Corbin is just a comic book legend. He's a Will Eisner Hall of Famer. He did art design for heavy metal, a lot of the early heavy metal artwork in those books, and also for the cult classic 1981 movie as well. He's the one that he's the art direction for Den, that the short in that original film. And so when I ran across this book, I was like, okay, I think this is a big book. And I asked the guy, okay, how much do you want for this? And he said, $3. And I didn't want to like try to talk him down because I thought he could change his mind or something. So I just said, all right, yeah, I'll take it for $3. And then I paid $3 for it. And it was really this and like a few other books that I picked up. But this is the big one. But yeah, when I got home, I started doing my research, and I realized this is like I want to say it's like a $300 book. It's a $300 book, and of course, condition is very important. But what this guy did is he put the original dust jacket, which is important for this hardcover. He kept it behind this plastic film, so it's been protected under this film. The dust jacket hasn't faded or anything. I mean, the film itself is a little dented, but the dust jacket is intact, and it's a by 70s like book. The fact that it wasn't in a book a bagger board, just exposed to the elements on a bookshelf and like read. It's clean. The pages are still, like new. And this is a big book because this is a first printing of Bloodstar. And it's a significant book because this is the first book in history to refer, or in comics, I should say, the first book in comics to refer to itself as a graphic novel. And it's noted as that, in the comic guides. And it's right there on the dust jacket. Bloodstar is a new revolutionary concept, a graphic novel. So it introduces that term, it uses it, and it presents itself as the first graphic novel. Now, you could argue, though, graphic novels have been around since, like forever, because ultimately when you attach pictorial, if you have to attach pictorials with a narrative, that's a substantial narrative, that's considered a graphic novel, right? But they weren't really, they were kind of like things that people created, but they weren't really labeled or classified as such. This was the first one to label itself that. And of course, in the subsequent decade, graphic novels became very popular, and now they're just, they're essentially like their own genre of comic book collecting, right? So again, we have the first graphic novel here, Bloodstar by Richard Corbin. This was written by Robert E. Howard, who wrote the original Conan series as well. It's a fantasy story. Again, I'm not a terribly big fan of either of these creators, Corbin or Howard. And this is a long story, so I've yet to really kind of delve into the story. But in terms, I do know that this is a hand-numbered serial number by Corbin himself. So he self-published this book with Morningstar Press. And if you look in there, that's a handwritten serial number. This is 1743 out of 5,000 copies. So this is one of 5,000. Very limited print run for such a major book, by a Hall of Fame comic book creator. So it's a big book. To say it's, I've been looking at these, when these books come up, they sell. I mean, I think they've been trending. People have been picking these up because I think they're seeing potential for this to be, one of those like grail books at some point. So for me, I know the value. I see a lot of value in this book, and so I'm just going to keep it in my collection because, I just think it's just really weird. I pick up heavy metal because it's my first. It was Peach Momoko's first, artwork in comic books, and so I would have never picked up a heavy metal comic book if not for that fact. And then as soon as we pick it up, it's like Unyoung brings another big heavy metal book into my sphere. Now, not that Bloodstar was in heavy metal, but Corbin was definitely one of the iconic creators in heavy metal, and that film, again, his contributions to the film, which is a cult classic, are just legendary. So it's cool. And I was kind of hoping Sleepy would have been in the chat today. I did watch Damien's video on Corbin, and didn't realize Corbin was so actively involved in the industry on a lot of books. So kudos to Damien for just that video. I just kind of like seeing him pay tribute to that. This was back in 2020 when Corbin passed away. It was an old video, but I just appreciated that kind of knowledge and sort of paying homage to a creator through the works. I just love watching videos like that. So I learned a lot about Corbin. I definitely saw the motif and the style in his artwork. It's definitely, he has a definitive style to his drawings, and that's something that's very evident in the heavy metal works and in this book as well. So yeah, I'm just happy to have added this, and this is definitely now one of the gems in my collection. Again, first print Bloodstar, first graphic novel in comics, first graphic novel comic. Okay. All right. Now we've come to the big moment. We're gonna unbox this, and I should have come more prepared. I did not bring my knife. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna run out real quick. Actually, I can use these scissors, I guess. Use these scissors. I'm just gonna open it up. Okay, so again, we got the point of concern here is there's a corner crunch right here. It was dropped. Looks like it was dropped. Okay. But we'll just have to see what kind of packaging job CGC did. I know they put a lot of bubble wrap and all that to mitigate those kinds of irresponsible package handling by UPS or by any logistics company that they use. The reason my go-to is always the Postal Service. I will always use them when I submit or do anything because their package handlers, their mail carriers are respectful of everything. But I don't find that to be the case with like companies like FedEx or UPS. You know, they're paying these guys and they just don't care. You know, they could care less if this package got damaged or not. So you see them really being irresponsible with the packages, like throwing them around, kicking them around. That's just very unprofessional. And anyway, I didn't really want to use UPS for the return shipping, but they were the cheapest option because the post office, CGS was, their fees for the post office shipping was like really ridiculous. It was super high. I was like it's like it was like $18. It was like something ridiculously high. So I was like, we're not going to pay for that. So this was like the next best. I wasn't going to use FedEx. I think this was the second cheapest option outside of something else. But anyway, we went with UPS, and I'm just hoping I don't regret it. So it is in a lot of bubble wrap. I'm just going to kind of lift it up so you can see. I don't see everything looks to be intact. So I'm just gonna do the books. Okay, the books are right here, and I just want to be careful so I don't poke in and peek at the grades here. I think I did. Okay, that's the invoice, and I think we can just dig in. All right, so there we go. What I'm gonna do is I don't know. I don't know what. I'm gonna try to get them so that we can see. We're gonna take them off the top, and I'm gonna cover the grade. Oh, okay. We'll start with the big one. So I was hoping we'd go with this. Actually, I'm gonna save that for last. So we'll just go with. You saw it though. Yeah, you saw it. I'm just gonna save it for last because I think we'll just build up to it. So just gonna take a quick look. Okay, we'll start with this book. All right, so I picked up this back. I believe I picked it up off the newsstands, and I just kept it in my collection for the longest of times. It's Amazing Spider-Man 345, first Cletus Cassidy. Venom appearances, just a classic book. Eric Larson's, I believe this is his first cover for the book as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, comic thing. It might be second. Anyways, it's an early Larson cover before he actually takes over the run. So this is an early cover by Larson. And I have this grade. So, okay, let's talk about this a little bit. The books look to be in okay condition, so I'm just going to pour over it when we reveal the grade. But if you go back and watch the first video I ever uploaded on this channel, and I may have to go and delete that video because it's an awful video. I'm literally lying in my bed with my webcam on my laptop, and I'm just talking about, I just submitted books. It was just a horrible viewing. There's absolutely I can't see anybody watching that and be like, oh yeah, I want to subscribe to this channel. It's just a horrible video. Sound quality was bad. Just the lighting was bad. There's nothing to watch in that except, like my CGC submission form and stuff. It was just horrible. And I've learned a lot since then, just about like creating content and also submitting books and grading and all that. So, but yeah, I basically, I kind of explained, hey, I got these books back from my original collection. I thought I'd send them in for grading. Just kind of submitted them without thinking. I didn't even like pour over the books to see, kind of, determine what the grades they were. I did look them over, and I thought, yeah, these are high grade, but I wasn't detailed in which came to light when I got these slabs behind me, when I got them back. When I got the slabs behind me back, I was all expecting like 9.8s, 9.6s, like grades. And I remember going on the video saying, yeah, these all should come back around 9.6. If they came back 9.4, I'd be disappointed. Well, they all came back really different grades. We got a 7.0, we got a 9.0, we got an 8.5, we got a 9.6. None of them came back at 9.8. So I was just way off. And to be honest, like, I know these are probably not going to be 9.8s. I'll tell you that right now. And I really have no idea, because when we submitted it, I did take a look at the books. But I didn't pour over the books like I would now, in terms of like counting spine ticks, looking at the core. Like for me, like I was so inexperienced in that first submission that I just thought, yeah, these look good, and these are probably all 9.8s. I just went in with that thinking without understanding all the nuances of grading. I do understand them now, but again, it was too late. I had already submitted the books, and it's not like I have this like photographic memory to remember what specifically flaws each book had, because I didn't take the time to note them or do anything like that. So again, when I submitted the books, I thought these were all 9.8s. I'm definitely, kind of retracting those thoughts. And what I'm going to do now is, I'm going to put the X-Men, the 141, I'm going to put that at a 7.5. And I'm going to put these Spider-Man books around 8.5. Okay. That's what we're hoping. So the X-Men book, which I showed you, we're hoping for a 7.5 on that one. And we're hoping for 8. And the reason I have them, you might say, oh, they're kind of low. The reason I have them so low is because again, I'd rather be surprised than disappointed. So, if I put what I want, obviously I want them all above 8.5s. If I can get them back all 8.5s, that would be ideal, but we just don't know what we're getting. All right, so we're going to reveal the first one. Here we go. No, that's the wrong side. Here we go. Boing. 9.4. Yes. All right. So we were expecting, again, I thought, I'm really pleased with that grade 9.4. On a tough yellow cover as well. So 9.4. Yes. Yeah. Because really, I didn't realize, I wasn't terribly, and this is one of the books I was like kind of remorseful of sending in, only because it's not a big book. I mean, it's a big book in my collection at the time I decided to, before I got all these other books, it was one of the bigger books. But it wasn't like, I don't know. I just felt it's like a $20 book. I just thought, the only thing that would make this really worthwhile submitting is if it came out high grade. So obviously, like 9.4, $20 book 9.4, this is not like all that much value. but it is like a nice cover. Again, it's I think it's one of Eric Larson's first covers. Plus, it's got this great Venom here, and so I'm really happy with that grade. 9.4, I'll take that. Again, I just, again, with the disappointment and kind of the hey Ralph Foss, I didn't see you there. Hope your evening's going well. Yeah, again, you know, I didn't know what to expect really. It's kind of like I did realize, hey, you know, maybe all the books I submitted, maybe they're not high grade. Maybe, you know, like there's something I missed, you know. So that was the main concern. And I think now I have a little bit more of a discerning eye. But again, this first submission, this is 3 books from a 7-book submission. You see the 4 from that submission behind me. So these are the last of that first submission, the final books, and these are just the moderns that didn't have the faster turnaround times that these books had. So 9.4, again, very pleased with that. All right, this next one is a big one. So the next 2 are like ones I've been just really wanting to add to the collection because they're 2 of my favorite books in the collection. And yeah, 346, another classic cover by Eric Larson here. I just like putting it on there. And again, I anticipate, again, I put this at an 8.5 like I did that previous one. And this is a black cover. So this is a notoriously tough one to get in high grade because, again, it's all that black. But I got these 2 books around the same time, and I kept them in pretty much the same kind of condition. We didn't really read through them, kept them in bags and boards for the most part. I did take them out and read them when I got them initially, but then they went in the bag and board, and they kind of stayed in the bags and boards this entire time up until I submitted. So if that 9.4 is any indication, I'm hoping this is somewhere in that vicinity as well, and I'll be really excited if we get 9.4. But I'm just gonna temper that expectation by saying, okay, we're hoping for an 8.5. That's the baseline. We're hoping for an 8.5. So let's see what we got. Oh, an 8.0. And again, I don't know. I gotta look over at the notes. What is wrong with this one? I'm thinking it's something on the back, because the front looks absolutely beautiful. I don't see any spine ticks or anything on that front. Yeah, the back's got stains. And they really penalize you for stains, because that's why I got a 7.0 on my other one. All right, well, that's a little disappointing. There's a little bit of scuff on this slab too. Not pleased with that. That's disappointing. 8.0. We were hoping for this in high grade. Again, I think it's that stain on the back. It looks flawless from the front. It looks flawless. So I don't know why. I really don't know why it looks flawless from the front. No creases, no nothing. Again, the back though, there's a stain. I don't know if you can see it through the camera. There's a stain like right around here, but that shouldn't knock it down that much. Interesting. All right, we're disappointed with that grade. All right, the next book is an older book, and again, I think I'm going to put this grade at, I'm going to put this grade at a 7.5, because it's an older book that we picked up in the 90s off the wall. We got it off the wall at a comic shop. I got it off the wall in Oberlin, Ohio. There's my college had a comic shop that I went to, and I picked up, my Spawn #1 there. I picked up a lot of the books from my original collection there at this little comic shop there in town. And this was one of the books they had. And I think I picked this up for like 20 bucks, 15 or 20 bucks, somewhere in that range. And I wasn't really, I knew grade was important. This was, in my view, like a good graded book, but I didn't have the discernment for what constitutes like the, the 9.0 through 9.8s and all that. I just got it because I liked the book. I was like, I gotta have that book. I gotta have that John Byrne book in my collection. So that's the reason I got it. But again, with an older book, I do recall this having some spine ticks. I don't think there was any like creases. Yeah, I'm not seeing any creases there or anything. So it was a pretty clean book. But again, some spine ticks. It did get the CCS press, so let's just see what. Again, if it's in the 7.5, if it's anything above a 7.5, I think I'll be happy. But let's just see. All right, I'm thinking it's going to be in the 7.5, 8.0 range or something like that. But let's see what it is. Oh my goodness, this is a big one. Holy moly, that makes up for the 8.0 on the Venom cover. Oh my goodness. That's huge. That is huge. And I submitted the 142 recently too. And that one I was thinking is like the best we can get on that one is possibly a 9, depending on the press. Thanks, Rafas. But I don't think that 142 will get above a 9.0 again. I don't think it'll even get above an 8.5. We're hoping for an 8.5 on that book. I'm thinking even with the press and everything, it should come back around an 8.0, 8.5. Hey, Kenneth, what's going on? So just got this grade. I'm just over the moon on this one, man. 9.4. Oh my God, this is just a big book too. To have this blows me away. This blows me away for a Bronze Age book to come back in this grade. Oh, that's staying in the PC. All right, so let's do a quick, review of what we got. Oh my goodness, this is just very pleased with these results. I mean, this one, I would have liked to see this one higher. There is a stain on the back, but I don't know if that would constitute. I mean, you just got to see it up close. There's the thing that would be problematic with a black cover like this would be the spine ticks. No spine ticks on this one. It's absolutely flawless. Look at that spine. So I gotta take a look at the grader's notes and just see what the heck the issue was on this book. But I'm thinking is that it has to do with that stain, maybe something on the inside of the book. All of these came back white pages, which is absolutely fantastic. So super, super pleased with these grades. Even the 8.0, I mean, that's not, I just think, I disagree with, I know everybody who gets books back there's always a few, the low ones people disagree with. So I'm just going to look over the notes. I mean, I wish they just pay more attention to the front of the book, because the front of the book looks fabulous for this grade as well. All the issues, like this one came back 7-0, right? But it wasn't the front of the book that was really problematic. It does have spine ticks up and down, but there was a big, they even called it tanning. They said that the back had a, minor tanning there. But that's harsh, man. Just for that on the back. And I'm assuming that's what happened here. There's a little bit of a stain on the back there that dropped it down to an 8-0. I don't know what their logic but even though I have an issue with this one, this one book makes up for all. I think I'm in love with CGC again. Seriously, this book makes up for all the anxiety and stress that CGC has caused me. UPS as well. And for the most part, everything looks to be intact. I don't see any cracks or issues with the slab. So I'm happy. Yeah. I know I told you at the beginning of the video, I'm either going to be really happy or pissed. I'm happy. Oh my goodness. And we waited 8 months, which I guess is not so bad. I've heard people wait like a year and a half. And again, these spent the majority of their time waiting to get cleaned and pressed. So I will probably, I'm really happy with the grades. So for me, I think cleaning and pressing is it's a no-brainer. You have to do it with some company. And it, up to now, I've had all my books cleaned and pressed at CCS without any issues, at least without any issues that I know of. Who knows? They might have stained these books there in that process. I doubt they would have stained it, but my point is, like, I'm pretty confident that they did a really good job with these books, and they look really great. So that's the main thing. But man, we unboxed the big one. We unboxed the big one, guys. 9.4. So happy with this. It's a big book. I gotta check that's the other thing. We do have a census, and I'll kind of upload the census data right now as we look over it. So we'll start with 141. There are 6,930 copies on the Cgc Census as of this last week. And my grade puts it in I want to say there's about 3,000 copies. So this is a 1 of 3,000 in terms of the top grades. 1 of 3,000. 1,000 in 9.4s. There's about 1,200 in 9.6s. There's 1 in 9.9. That's incredible to think about. And there's 739 in the 9.8. So it's a very tough book to get in 9.8. But again, first appearance of Rachel, Avalanche, Destiny, Pyro, alternate future of the X-Men, Mystique, Blob, Robert Kelly appearance, Chris Claremont story, John Byrne and Terry Austin cover and art. All right, so let's look at the next one here. 345, there's 1,500 of these graded on the census. And 1,500. So this one is looks to be 611 copies in 9.8, 447 copies in 9.6, and 195 copies in 9.4, which is what I got. So we're looking at, this is 1 in about 1,200, 1 in 1,200 out of yeah, 1 in 1,200 in terms of the grade. Again, there's 1,539 graded copies. Again, it's one of those things where not really, people aren't grading them to the extent of the higher valued books. 346. This one has even less. I'm surprised. This 346 has 1,400 copies on the census. Only 337 9/8s, 446 9/6s, 224 9/4s. Go down the list. 29 8/0s. So this one's pretty much, the majority of the graded ones are in the high grade. So this is, yeah, pretty much 1 of 1,400 in terms of the grade. There's 1,400. There aren't too many. There's just a few copies below this grade. The majority of the 1,400 in the census are above. Keep showing the wrong comic. Are above the 8/0 grade. So this is one of the lower grades on the census, unfortunately. Surprisingly, there are a lot of high grades in this book, especially with the tough black cover. There is a 0.5 as well. I don't know if that's a joke or what. A couple of low grades. Very happy with this one. Dead of appearance, David Michelini story, Eric Larson, Randy Evelyn cover and art. This is classic. That's a classic. All right, so that does it for this video. I'll probably, I'm going to upload these grades and all that, share that on Instagram, and also do another video where I pour over the grades, go over the graders' notes, and talk about what's the specific flaws in these books were. We'll do that after we review those, but for now, I'm just again happy with what we got. Again, big book, big Richard Corbin, 1 in 5,000, first graphic novel, and then the slabs we got back. Thanks for joining me on this live chat. I was hoping to see more of the comic fam in, but it's Friday night. I know a lot of you are busy with weekend plans with everyone, so hopefully I'll catch your comments in the rerun as I upload this on my channel. So enjoy. Again, happy to get these books back, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye, otakus. Take care. Have a fun weekend.